Oh. Yeah. So many streamers today. We're playing a GM. Okay. Hmm. Missed my rook! Trying to flag me at this point, I get it. Fuck. Oh! It was a good game. This is my game against Polish GM Pakleza. In this game, it was interesting. We played a Pirc, and right off the bat, I offer my opponent a poison pawn. The b2 pawn is traditionally a poison pawn in chess, which means that you can take it, or sometimes you right out can't because the queen gets trapped. But when you can take it, usually I have compensation in that I have a very active position, more development and aggressive pieces. The real trap here that I should have done is a3 instead of d5 that I played in the game. a3 is powerful. Black really can't take this pawn this time because now knight a4, and that's the point of a3 taking up this b4 square, and this queen is completely trapped. And no d5 played because this would actually give e5, so you don't want to play d5. I play knight a4, which was the mistake here. Here I should have played knight ge2, defending my knight, and okay, after queen b4, because now I'm threatening rook b1. Say if black does anything else than a queen move going back out, well, now I have a3 taking up the b4 square, b5 is taken out, b6 is taken out, and here I'm threatening rook a2, and the queen would be trapped. But instead I go for the wrong knight a4, and after queen b4 I had anticipated, whoopsies, my knight is falling, I thought of c3, and now the queen would go back out, and I thought that this would be a very decent position for the white pieces, but no. This knight is spectacularly weak, reliant on the defense of c3, and about to be kicked by a pawn on b5, and it was a miscalculation for sure. I should have gone knight ge2 and then a3. But I recovered. The engine gives us -3, and okay, it is -3, but I get a knight and a bishop and a pawn against a rook. It's not that bad, though I do recover a pawn here and make it less bad. Here it's only -1. Continuing on with my plan, I should have played, you saw my mouse on b1, I was hesitating here. I should have really done it. Played rook b1 here, attacking this knight, and kind of forcing rook b8 or bishop c7. And here we have tension on the black pieces. That's what's important, tension. And this knight cannot move, like literally. And if it tried to move, we win a4. So the black pieces would be just a bit frozen, which is good, because now I can rely or create some friction on the king side and play g4 and h4. But instead here with rook a7, I mean, the black pieces can just trap my rook and trade it, and now it's knight and bishop against rook, and black has a lot of space, which was really bad for me. The engine gives this -2, and this shows to you just how good a knight and a bishop are so much better than a rook. So I try to take up the open file with my rook, which is done here, but there's no entry square, right? So this rook will remain passive for a long time. And so I go rook b8, so I'm trying to kind of attack either one of these 3 pawns that are kind of weak and out of reach on the king side. But by the time I get there, I mean, even if I were to attack these pawns, there's h5, and all the pawns are defended. But by the time I get there, you know, there's really no opportunities, and this is where I really drop the ball. Here, I shouldn't have played king takes a3. It's really a bad move. It gives a pawn, so it's a trade, but this pawn is not better than this c4 pawn. It's really a childish mistake, right? If we're thinking about the trade itself, the both pawns, I'm giving them prime pawn action. Like, this pawn is not only protected and passed by this knight, but it's close to promotion square against this pawn that's literally trapping my king on the a file and preventing it from going up the board and castling and queening, which is crazy. And so here I should have just done king c2 and try to hold this position, even though I think the c3 pawn will eventually fall. That's what I'm thinking here. Maybe not with knight b5 directly, because I have this resource rook c8, which is kind of interesting. It forces one of these 2 pieces to cover on c7, otherwise the c4 pawn loses. So okay, one of the pieces recover, but eventually one of these 2 pawns will crack, and that's why I went king takes a3 instead of king c2, because I was worried about these weaknesses in the future. Looking back, I should have just came back on c2. And this essentially cost me the game. I mean, after this, I never recovered, and I can never stop this c4 pawn. GG's to this GM who absolutely outplayed me.